Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement. Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the culture. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Is there a way to bet against both teams?
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
And we are live here from the South Point Hotel and Casino. This is Sports by the Book. Happy Thursday, everybody. And what a great Thursday we have coming up. A huge game in the NFL for the NFC. We've got the Rams and the Seahawks. We will break that game down here in the next hour. We've also got 10 hockey games, so we'll give you our best bets and some college basketball as always. We have a special guest, as we always do, on Thursdays. We'd love to have Dwayne Colucci joining us from the Rampart Hotel and Casino. So that'll just be in a few moments. And as always, please hit that subscribe button. We appreciate everybody who has as of late because we're almost to our goal, just about 73 more. So we might get there before Christmas. So thank you, everybody, for double checking if you are subscribed or not to Sports by the Book YouTube channel. All right, so great Thursday coming up. I mentioned all the games that we have tonight and also on the live show. We'd like you to join us. Jump in the chat. Let us know if you are watching live. We've got a poll question going, and it does relate to the NFL game tonight. And we will have a trivia question for you guys to keep you sharp. See what you know. It's about past sports things. So watch out for that. We'll let you know when that is live as well. I'm Alex White alongside Ryan McCormick. Let's bring him in. Ryan, how was your Wednesday overall? And a nice jersey you're rocking there today.
Yeah, we're in the throwback Seahawks jerseys, which is not the jerseys they'll be wearing tonight. I think the jerseys they're wearing tonight are hideous, but I digress. The whiteboard yesterday, 1-1 on mine. The Panthers did not cover the puck line for the bigger, better price, but the Carolina Hurricanes did beat the Nashville Predators. Got a 145 there, so up 45 on the two plays yesterday. So, but to recap, we'll start with the college basketball because there's something funny about the other three that we'll mention. College basketball favorites in 50 games went 38-12 straight up yesterday. 20, 29, and 1 against the spread, and 29 and 21 were the totals. 29 overs, 21 unders. NBA and the bowl games yesterday, both favorites lose outright, losing against the spread as well. And both games, all 4 games technically, all go under. And then if you include the NHL, all 5 of those games went under. So NBA, Gridiron, and the NHL, 0-9 were the totals yesterday. NHL favorites ended up going 2-3 straight up. 2 puck lines were covered. The Mammoth win 4-1 against the Detroit Red Wings. Another consecutive loss for a Cam Talbot start, so 6 straight there for him, not being able to get the win for his team in the Red Wings. But one reverse puck line was the Utah Mammoth, in Detroit.
Typically, Sharps love the unders and underdogs, so probably had a very good day yesterday. And the public, beware of these times, betting on overs. It feels like the bowl games are on a crazy under run right now. If we'll have to check those actual numbers, but a lot of unders have been cashing in those bowl games, so just beware of that. Pretty good night for me as well. 2-1 on the whiteboard. Georgetown did win outright. They were 2-1 on the money line. I was very tempted to bet that, but I didn't get greedy. I just took the 5.5. So big win for them over Marquette. And then Kenny White's college basketball did go 2-1 as well. He had an over in there too. So I've got 2 more of his plays coming up later in the show. Ryan and I are agreeing on a hockey, and that has been pretty lucky the last few weeks, and some totals. But I don't know. This time of year, Ryan, I think we do have to be a little hesitant with overs in hockey. I don't know if it's just how many games now that they have played, until they have an actual break here, right? We're got to just tread lightly.
Yeah, they're fitting a lot of games in before they get their kind of Christmas break. But it's not much of a break. It's just a short 4-day break for most teams. But still a break nonetheless. So fitting in games that they would have had to play if they evened out the schedule. But a lot of weird scheduling quirks in the NHL this year.
Well, let's get to it. Let's talk about tonight's game a little bit here before we bring in Dwayne Colucci, and if there's any trends and, of course, updates, because kind of crazy travel news from the Rams side yesterday. So let's talk about that. And as always, just want to remind everybody to join us tomorrow at noon for our Football Frenzy, which we do every Friday. We will have Chris Andrews, Sportsbook Director here at the South Point, joining us, as well as Vinny Mayulo. So a lot of great information. We are here. It is time. CFP playoff time. There is a game tomorrow night, Oklahoma and Alabama. And as we go through those 4 games, we'll also hit a couple bowl games that are coming up before next Friday after Christmas. And then, of course, we're going to talk FCS. So make sure and join us. And then the big stuff with Week 16 in the NFL. And Ryan will join us on the desk as well, where he provides a lot of great information, trends, all that good stuff, and his plays as well. But all right, let's get into it. Ryan, news about the travel for the Rams, because now we're seeing the Seahawks as a 1.5-point favorite. Kind of flipped, going back and forth, really. I mean, you could have grabbed one on either side, depending on what side you liked. Total has definitely been bet under, though.
Yeah, here at the South Point, you could have gotten 2 either way. Rams -2 or Seahawks -2 or plus vice versa. But yeah, the travel issues with the Los Angeles Rams were that they had some complications with their team plane, their original flight out, and got delayed for several hours trying to figure out other flight plans. And they had the majority of their team fly on one flight and their coaching staff and whoever was left on a completely different flight. So yeah, a lot of kind of havoc there, messing with their travel plans with the Rams. So And then there's also some other drama that is getting blown out of proportion, but yeah, it is what it is.
And then, of course, the weather. It's going to be awful weather there. So, I mean, both of these teams in the top 10 in regards to points per game, yards per play, their offenses have been awesome. But you got to be careful because it's going to be very windy. Up to 40-mile-per-hour winds to start the game, but then it is going to die out a little bit throughout, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's supposed to be getting up to 50 mile-an-hour wind gusts around kickoff. But as Alex said, it will taper off as we get further into game, but will still remain over 20-mile-an-hour winds throughout the entirety of the game. So we did want your guys' thoughts on tonight's game with some props. We went 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want any more. So shortest touchdown in the game, under 1.5 yards. There's your 1. Cooper Kupp receptions, under 2.5, plus 140 here at the South Point. There's your 2. Total field goals in the game, under 3.5, getting even money here at the South Point. There's your 3. And total combined touchdowns, under 4.5 at the Pick'em 110. There is your 4. So go ahead and let us know your thoughts with the poll. Give us your thoughts in the live chat if you want to shout out. We got Attila and Dean Hilt and JR letting us know about how fun it was to see you last night at the Knights game. We'll get some thoughts here coming up as we get Dwayne Colucci on.
Not the most exciting game. Of course, the Knights did lose in a shootout there, 2-1. The Devils get that win. But yes, a lot of our crew was around T-Mobile last night, including Vince and Andrew and myself, and then a lot of people that do watch the show. So really cool. And then Minidar jumped in there. I haven't seen Minidar in a while, but good to see everybody in the chat. Jumping in the poll, let us know what you like there. We kind of were pushing towards more of a run game script, right? With the wind and everything. We didn't want to throw in there Matthew Stafford over passing touchdowns and all of that stuff. But
yeah, both quarterbacks are actually a plus price for their over touchdowns here tonight at the South Point. 115 for over 1.5 passing touchdowns for Matthew Stafford. And then Sam Darnold over 1.5 is plus 145. So you do think we'll be getting touchdowns. You do think the offenses or the passing game will be successful. Good prices here at the South Point.
Let's take a quick break. Let's talk to the pro. He's been doing this for a very long time. Let's get his thoughts on the weather conditions and the travel with the Rams here up next in just a short minute or so. Dwayne Colucci joins us here on Sports by the Book.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
And we're back. Thanks for joining us, everybody who is watching us live. Thanks for joining us. If you are watching the replay, we appreciate you. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And now joining us, the manager up at the Rampart for the Race and Sportsbook, Dwayne Colucci, as he always does on Thursdays. Dwayne, you tweeted something this week, some changes over at the Rampart. What's going on, and how have you been?
I've been very well, Alex. Definitely. I hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, changes coming up after the Super Bowl. We will here at the Rampart Casino be affiliated with Caesar Sports on the sports side. Sad to see the affiliation with the South Point end, but 13 years were just great. I can't thank Chris and Vinny and Jimmy and Michael Gaughan for everything they've done for our property and establishing and stamping and putting the Rampart on the map, and now just upgrading to an international-based company and Caesar Sports. It's just going to be unbelievable. And not much changes, to be honest with you, though. The horse racing will not change. It's all still under my supervision. Sportsbook as well will work in cohesion. Very, very similar to what we had with the South Point, only you'll have the sports betting menu from Caesar Sports, which is very extensive. And, definitely come sign up for that mobile app. That's going to be very, very important. We're going to add a ton of kiosks on the casino floor and invest a lot of money in the sportsbook bar area, as well as, the odds board and all that. So very, very exciting and, a busy transitional period now for us here at the Rampart Casino.
Oh, going to be very, very busy for you guys, I'm sure. But good to hear for you. Excited for you guys. And hopefully we can still have you at least weekly here with us on Sports by the Book. But I heard that you may have been at the Knights game as well last night. What was your overall take seeing them? I mean, it was kind of a struggle without Eichel out there, right?
Yeah, definitely. That was a massive struggle. And, Stone got his cage rattled early. The Devils played one of their best games of the season. I have to be honest with you, Alex. And Jake Allen was just incredible. Nothing, not taking anything away from Carter Hart. He played solid as well. I mean, this was just one of the most physical and tough games that I've seen. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of the better games that I've seen all season. And you guys know I attend a ton of games. And, the Devils got up. But, everybody was saying Jack Eichel wasn't there, but neither was Hughes. So keep that in mind. Both teams playing without their superstar out there. And, it definitely materialized on the ice, especially for the Golden Knights. They need Jack Eichel there. And you saw the last play, Mitch Marner, it was a double hit on that goal. Everybody thought he had scored to tie the game with the, the shootout, but it didn't transpire that way. It was just a great, great game.
Well, what are we looking at for tonight as we transition over to some NFL? A huge matchup here. We've already seen this once between the Rams and the Seahawks, but let's start with where the money is right now.
Yeah, Alex, the money is kind of on the Seahawks. The sharp money is on the Seahawks. We opened the game, Rams won at the Rampart in South Point. Now it's sitting at Seattle, 1.5. You guys were addressing the travel issues. You have the Devontae Adams issues. You have the wind issues. So you're also seeing a little lower of a total in my, handicapping and bookmaking skills with a 43 just because of this. So this is going to be a very tough game. Seahawk money is basically sharp money, Alex, because the ticket count is in favor of the Rams. When LA gets going in the Las Vegas area, everybody jumps on the ship, especially with Vegas being so horrible, the Raiders. Definitely now the Rams are the team that Las Vegas is starting to support coming into the playoffs. And you got two solid teams in the NFC here, two of the better teams. But you did see the Seahawks had a lot of trouble getting the ball in the end zone last week. Sam Darnold, he was in the red zone quite often. So many field goals they had to kick, and that's not a great sign when you're heading into the playoffs. You definitely want your quarterback to put those sixes into the book, and, they just couldn't do it. So the Rams, like we said, probably playing without Adams. If the wind affects, they're mostly a passing offense, but they could run the ball as well. Very tough game to handicap. Two of the better teams in the NFC, if not the two best, with the Eagles. Right now, you saw Green Bay now, they're going to have their issues without Micah, and they're behind the Bears once again. So that was a very physical game against Denver, and Bo Nix took it right to them. He outplayed the Green Bay offense basically and Love. So it's going to be tough. This is a game that will be a severe measuring stick in the NFC. Current line, Seahawks 1.5. Tough game to handicap. I don't have an opinion, guys. Help me out here.
I with this one in particular, I do think it'll end up being a close game. So if you want to take the plus price now with the Rams, tease it up and get 7, I think that might be the right way to do it and tie it with some things later in the week.
7.5 now. You get over you got the extra half, and you're wearing a Seahawk jersey. So what are you doing here, Ryan? What are you doing?
Last week I wore a Bucks jersey and it didn't work out, so I might be trying the same thing here. But I am curious. You do mention the top teams in the NFC, and you did mention the Packers. They are in a huge matchup on Saturday in the late game in Chicago against the Bears. It opened Packers -3. We are now at a pick. What do you think in that one?
I don't know. Is Micah Parsons worth 3 points? I mean, they just played a couple of weeks ago, and Green Bay looked very effective in that game, but now it's going to be a totally different scenario. Caleb Williams having a fabulous season. I mean, definitely the Bears, are playing at an exceptional level, but Green Bay and LaFleur actually outcoached Robinson in the last matchup. So we're sitting at a pick 'em now at the Rampart in South Point. Very, very difficult game to handicap. Another one. Will the Bears bring their A game, or will it be Green Bay who is able to move the ball down the field? I mean, their offense looked pretty solid against Denver, but, Bo Nix just played at an exceptional level and put them to sleep. So, this is a tough, tough game. That division is one of the tougher to handicap. You're seeing how Detroit, peaks and valleys with that team. Green Bay, peaks and valleys. The Bears, they've been the pleasant surprise. And you look at the remaining schedule, this is a huge game for the Bears because at Frisco, and then you play Detroit. These are very, very difficult games. Not that Green Bay's isn't, but they do have that Minnesota game remaining, which they should be able to win. And, you are playing Baltimore at home. So this is a very tough game. I'll probably be putting my money on the Bears, but like I said, probably teases and parlays, nothing serious because of the matchup. It's a great matchup. Pick them at the Rampart and South Point here. And if you look at the money, it's almost even, Alex. I know you're going to ask me that. Ticket count is in favor of the Bears, almost 2-1, I'll be honest with you, but that's a lot of parlays and teasers. Like we said, general public action, whereas the sharps, now with it down to a pick, are starting to get the buyback with Green Bay. You could add a serious middle there. You're looking at the opening line at 1.5. It did get up to 2 at some shops. If you were shopping around town, it was like 3, like you said, Alex, when we first brought it up. So, this is definitely a tough game and definitely going to be a playoff implication game and very difficult.
Dwayne, I don't believe in trap games. But looking at this number here, with the Chargers getting 2 points, I don't want to put salt in the wound, but I just saw the Minnesota Vikings outplay the Dallas Cowboys. They have a very small window. They could be knocked out with an Eagles win on Saturday, but yet they are a 2-point favorite here at home against the Chargers. But we did see the Chargers. I mean, they did not show up in Jacksonville. Is that kind of where we're going with this? Can you make sense of this line for me?
Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. Dallas, when the season's on the line, they just play terrible, Alex. You've seen it now. The 2 key games, they didn't show up. Minnesota, I mean, they made J.J. McCarthy look like Johnny Unitas back there. And, it's just ridiculous how Dallas, can't get their emotions in check and, project it on the field. They do have a talented roster, but when you're giving up these 40s to Detroit and Minnesota, you're not a playoff caliber team. And, the Chargers may be a little overrated. That's why you're seeing this 2-point spread. Very tough place to play in Dallas, but I can't make any sense of it. I'd be backing the Chargers with massive playoff implications and jockeying for position for home field. They definitely need the game. I don't know what Dallas is going to do. They're probably going to run with Williams, CD, Pickens. We know Dak is having a superstar season, and that's the only reason that they are 6-7-1. So tough game to handicap. I'll probably take the Chargers, though, I'll be honest with you, because there's much more at stake for the Chargers, and Dallas had 2 big games and 2 big losses consecutive. Tough game to handicap, but I'll take the Chargers plus the 2 at the Rampart and South Point. Can't make much sense of it, like you said, Alex. I mean, I'm looking at it. All the money is on the Chargers, and the ticket count is at 3-1. So we'll see how it plays out. But Dallas is still a 2-point favorite.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
We do have a lot of Los Angeles people here in Las Vegas, Los Angeles fans here in Las Vegas, and I do think that
Yeah, but they're Ram fans, Ryan. They ain't Charger fans.
well,
Maybe San Diego fans.
my point
but,
was
you
is
know.
to tie that teaser with the Rams tonight into the teaser with the Chargers here, getting the 1-score games here. I do think the Chargers end up winning this game because it ultimately won't mean anything for the Cowboys. But we'll move on to one that does have 2 playoff teams in it, and it is 2 of the best teams in the AFC, depending on who you talk to. But the Denver Broncos hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. We see the Broncos as a 3-point favorite at the South Point Rampart. It looks like there's a 2 in the market as well. What do you think here, DC?
I think without the pressure on Jacksonville, Lawrence plays a lot better. You know, it's just they're flying under the radar right now. And they're playing at an exceptional level, and there is room for a bounce here. You know, I'm using a horse racing theory, but Denver's riding high after that big victory. Now you have to play Jacksonville again. You see that Kansas City is upcoming on the schedule without Patrick Mahomes. That is going to be huge, with Gardner Minshew probably starting if he doesn't get injured this week. So, I definitely think that Jacksonville can win this game just because of the fact that last week game was so emotional for Bo Nix, and he's still a young quarterback, but Denver is playing at a high level. They want to stay ahead of the Patriots. It's very important. The Patriots have games against New York and Miami remaining, which they should win. This will be the toughest game for them remaining out of the 3. So, a tough game and a tough matchup because Jacksonville is playing at such a top level. 12-2 against 10-4. Broncos are naturally going to be a field goal at home, but you're not seeing that extra half or, the 4 to 5, the dead numbers. So I would probably take Jacksonville, but the spread is very low here. Keep your eye on this. You're going to get teasers on both sides in this game. Everybody's got an opinion. I mean, the money right now, it's very tight, but in favor of the Broncos. Ticket count is at 3-1 in favor of the Broncos. Sharps are on Jacksonville. Tough game heading into the playoffs, but I definitely think Jacksonville has a massive chance here.
Ironically, here in week 16, with a lot of matchups with teams that aren't playing for much, or like that one, important games, a lot of 3s that we're seeing after we've seen so many double-digit favorites. But let's go to the Patriots here. Catching 3 on the road against Baltimore. The Ravens, a shutout against the Bengals. It's like they're actually trying to make a run here with the last 3 weeks. Dwayne, what do you think? You think the Patriots bounce back after losing that one to the Bills?
Yeah, that was a tough loss. I'll be honest with you, Alex. My dad was standing at the counter and he was preaching. He was similar to Portnoy, where you got that 21-point lead. And my dad's like, I should have bet the Patriots. I should have bet them. I said, look, this game is not over, and Buffalo came back like a house on fire. I mean, just unbelievable when you look at how Buffalo wins games at times. Josh Allen is incredible, and, the Patriots definitely are looking in the mirror and like, how did we blow that game? We had it under control. Drake May looked fabulous in the first half, but it was a night and day. Also, a shock with the Ravens. Like you said, Alex, how do you shut out Joe Burrow? That was phenomenal. And they have a terrible defense. Well, that's what they perceived all year. And now we're seeing a total of 48. So, they're not going to shut out the Patriots. I'll be honest with you. I think it is a good spot. I think that the Ravens are overvalued. They've been overvalued this whole season. But if Lamar Jackson goes crazy, it could be a long Sunday for the Patriots. Very tough game to handicap. I would take the 3 points here just because I think the Patriots are the better team, and they've been the better team the whole season. Drake May is going to put some points up here. I definitely think that the Patriots have a legitimate chance, and they want to, stay in position to have home field for the playoffs. Right behind Denver. It's going to be difficult, but I think Drake May is totally capable, and we'll see how it transpires on the field. Barring Lamar Jackson and, Henry going crazy, I see the Patriots winning this game.
I completely agree with you there, DC. But we'll go from Sunday night to Monday night. We've got 44-year-old Phillip Rivers leading the way for the Colts, his first home game back in 5 years. Do you think he can get it done here against the Niners?
It's tough. I'll be honest with you. I mean, that defense really stepped up last week, and, the Colts played solid, but the 49ers are there. They definitely want to, ride into the playoffs on a strong streak. Look at that division, 11-3, 11-3, San Francisco 10-4, monstrous chance in the NFC. They want to keep pace. 49ers 6 on the road. It's indoors, so that I think helps without poor weather or any cold weather for the 49ers. I like the 49ers in this spot. Usually quarterbacks play very well when it's their first start. Then they come right back down to earth. It's going to be difficult. I think they're going to put a few hits on Rivers. I like the 49ers in this matchup.
Dwayne, before we switch over to a little college football updates, I want to go back to hockey because we haven't even gotten a chance to talk to you about the big goalie swap between Edmonton and Pittsburgh. What do you think about Tristan Jarry over there with the Oilers now?
I don't know what Pittsburgh was thinking. I'll be honest with you. It's so difficult to put Skinner on your roster and feel confident. You saw that first game, and they threw him right into the fire. And Edmonton, Draisaitl got his 1,000th point there, whatever it was, and they were just rallying and rubbing it in Skinner's face. He's emotional enough now. It's going to be very difficult for him to win games in Pittsburgh. The East is stacked, I think it is, and definitely there's some tough teams that you have to surpass. They've played at an exceptional level thus far. Keep that in mind, Pittsburgh. But very a head scratcher, in my opinion, and putting Edmonton in a decent position with a better goaltender. Not that the West isn't stacked, but Colorado and Dallas and Minnesota really seem to be that core until the Golden Knights right the ship, even though they're in first place. I don't think that the Golden Knights are playing anywhere near those top three teams. And if you add Edmonton to the mix now, it's going to be very difficult for the Knights to make a cup run. So head scratcher. I think Jarry was out playing Skinner the whole season, and now he goes to the Western Conference, a team that has a legitimate playoff chance against a Pittsburgh team that was playing over their head and has to scratch and claw to make the playoffs this year. Totally different scenarios. We'll see how the Olympic break plays as well. That's going to be difficult. Hopefully my Canadians finish up after the Olympic break like they did after the Four Nations last year. But, that was a head scratcher, Alex. Very tough trade for the Pittsburgh Penguins, in my opinion.
Question about your Canadians. Are you two going to make a friendly wager here? Because we got the Blackhawks versus the Habs tonight.
175, without Bedard. So I don't know what Ryan's going to do without Connor there. But that was a bad injury. I tell you, Ryan, 1 second left out there, and he just got crushed, and he held his shoulder. Hopefully it ain't long term. He was having such a fabulous season. We know the problems with Montreal. I'm surprised that this total is at 5.5, but they've been having trouble scoring now. That's the whole key. You have good goaltending. I don't know what was going on with Sam Montembeault. Now he's down, on a rehab assignment or what you want to call it. Dobich has played well. Fowler, they're rushing him along a little because of the goaltender situation. Definitely, you've seen that Ivan Demidov has been told to shoot the puck more, which is a good sign. Kid is fabulous. I think he's the best rookie in the NHL, and he's going to continue to mature and play well. Montreal needs to get the puck in the net, though. Nick Suzuki, I saw that last game. He had like 3-4 breakaways in the last 2 games, and he can't put the puck in the net. You can't just rely on Cole Caulfield to just score all the goals. And, they definitely have to step up. Noah Dobson, terrible this year. The trade is looking like the Islanders actually, it was a 50-50 trade, whereas going into the season, it looked like it was a 90-10 trade in favor of Montreal. So Canadians got to right the ship, and we'll see how it plays out. This is a good game to get a victory and get the 2 points. So, Spencer Knight has been a great story this year. He's definitely overplayed with this current Chicago roster. You look at his save percentage there on the graphic, .915. The Canadians do not have a goalie over 9 in save percentage. So Dobich has been the bright spot, and he's been the go-to guy. Hopefully the Canadians will put the puck in the net tonight and get the 2 points, and add and put their 18th victory on the board.
Well, they're going to have to do it and get by Spencer Knight, who has been one of the best goalies in the NHL this year. The funniest part about this, I don't confidently think the Blackhawks will be able to get it done on the road in Montreal tonight. But their last 6 games, going back to when they were on their road trip in LA, they were shut out 6-0, then they lose 7-1, then they shut out the Rangers 3-0, then they lose 3-2, get shut out 4-0, lose 3-2. So every other game has involved a shutout for the Blackhawks. And we talk about struggling offenses. I think we might be looking at a shutout here again tonight. Not any real handicap playing in a real, just funny matchup, how things have played
You're
out.
loving
last
the
couple
under.
nights. But yes,
Yeah.
You're loving the under. That's why it's 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Montreal's having trouble scoring too. That's what we discussed. And, you know, you take Bedard out of that Blackhawk lineup, people don't realize what a fabulous talent this kid is. And, definitely mentioned the shutout against the Rangers. That was an impressive performance, but the Rangers are also having trouble on the offensive side, also with the coaching staff, squabbles in the locker room, you know, the benching of Zibanejad. You know, take into consideration Manhattan traffic, and they actually have now a toll where you have to pay at a certain point to travel in Manhattan. You know, that was not a good call and a good message by the head coach there. So, you know, I don't know what's going on with the Rangers, but like you said, you know, every other game is shut out with the Blackhawks. Maybe Montreal could get 3 or 4, but like you said, the under looks very appealing. That's why it's 5.5.
Dwayne, did you take a look at hockey yet? Did you jump in on anything yet for tonight?
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. I'm looking at the Wild. I think they look great in this position. I mean, you know, I don't understand why it's only 120. I mean, now it's down to 115 at the Rampart and South Point. They're just playing at an exceptional level
Yes,
right
they
now,
are.
and Columbus is not. I mean, Columbus is just at the bottom of the conference. They're a couple of points ahead of Buffalo. Also on a line read tonight, guys, why is Buffalo that big against the Flyers, who played an excellent game against my Canadians the other night? Michkov was able to take advantage of the mistake that Fowler made behind the net. Montreal never got on track. The Flyers played a very physical game. Why are the Sabres 140? That's why I'm looking at Buffalo here. I'll be honest with you. You know, I know it's a tough place to play and a tough place to travel, but look at the records, and, the Flyers on paper look like a cinch here, but I'll go with Buffalo in this matchup. Lyon has been playing pretty solid. He has 8 goals against, under 3, as you could see on the graphic, as well as a good save percentage. Definitely like Buffalo here.
We're with you, Dwayne, Ryan, and I. So we've got a full SBTB stamp of approval here on the Minnesota Wild. I mean, coming into this one, they've won 5 straight, just feeling good after that trade. So and they have 2 really good goalies now. So, I mean, it doesn't matter which one of them is playing. I think it will be the young one in Volstedt, but we like it as well. All right, how about some college football talk before we get to the horses? So, what have you seen action-wise? I know the first one tomorrow has probably seen a lot of handle, a lot of difference of opinions with the Sooners and the Tide there. But what about for Saturday's games too?
Yeah, definitely a good split on this Oklahoma-Bama. We're seeing good handle, but, the money is in favor of Alabama right now. Oklahoma -1 currently at the Rampart and South Point. Low total of 41. Ticket count is almost even, but the money, like I said, is in favor of Alabama. Definitely a tough matchup. Looking forward into the playoffs. Oregon 21 at the Rampart and South Point. Money is definitely in favor of Oregon, almost 2.5 to 1 on this game. And you're going to continue to see parlays and teasers applied on the Ducks here. James Madison, a lot of people think that the playoff system is a little flawed. How did they get in? How are they going to react against a monstrous team like Oregon? I think Oregon, could win by as many as they want. I was very impressed with this team all year. I think they definitely have a chance to win the whole thing. Oregon 21, rightfully so, at the Rampart and South Point, a 3-touchdown favorite. Like I said, ticket count is massive. It's almost 4 to 1 in favor of Oregon. So we're going to have to take that down as bookmakers. And I anticipate, more and more money coming across the counter as we get closer to game time. Ole Miss -17.5. This is an interesting matchup. I mean, we're high on ticket count and money on Ole Miss, but definitely I think Tulane can fall within that 17.5 point spread, especially with all the happenings with the Ole Miss locker room. We know what happened. It was very well documented, and we'll see how they react and the kids react to this situation. 17.5 at the Rampart and South Point. Total of 56.5. It's not scaring the public away. I'll be honest with you. The money count is almost 2 to 1. Ticket count 3 to 1 on Ole Miss. And then we have the marquee matchup. Well, the toughest, not the marquee, but the toughest matchup. A&M 3 against Miami. Ticket count is 2 to 1 in favor of A&M, but the money is in favor of Miami. Sharps jumping all over Miami, now down to 3. I like Miami in this situation. I'll be honest with you. I think they could win this game. 48.5 is the total. 7 versus 10. What a great matchup.
Cannot wait. Saturday morning, we got that one. Texas A&M and the Miami Hurricanes. Ryan, did you have anything else for Dwayne?
Yes, DC, your New York Knicks were able to win the NBA Cup here in Las Vegas. What do you think about your team being able to claim a championship title but not hanging a banner in MSG?
Yeah, no, we're realists. I saw a lot of these guys out there that were like bashing the Knicks. Oh, they're going to hang a banner. No, they're not. We understand we haven't won a title since the 72-73 Dwayne Colucci year born, basically. So, the Knicks are not going to do that. They're a proud franchise. Rangers and Knicks, MSG. There's no celebrating here until we get the NBA title. And that's what the focus has to be moving forward this year. Jalen Brunson playing fabulous. They have to stay healthy. As long as OG is out there, he complements them so well. You have other players like Towns, Hart. They're playing at an exceptional level. And, San Ann got that upset against OKC. It would have been even better and sweeter if they could have beat OKC, who is the best team in the NBA. But, we'll take it in stride, and hopefully we could win the Eastern Conference, represent the East this year. There's no Halliburton with his crazy shots. And, definitely the Knicks have a legitimate chance. They're playing at a very high level right now. And the East is for the taking. A lot of young teams there. And the Knicks veteran leadership with Brunson can take control of that conference if all falls into place. Brown is doing an excellent coaching job. Everybody has forgotten about Thibodeau already, and he needs to maintain this high level of play. It was a good sign to see them come to Las Vegas, come back in that final game, not get susceptible to the Vegas flu and partying and all that. Knicks played at a good level. Let's keep an eye on them throughout the season. Very proud of my Knicks so far, but let's keep it going. There's a lot of NBA basketball to play, and the West is definitely stacked. Like we said, OKC, so many good teams. Denver out there, Lakers if they get on a hot run. San Antonio is young. Houston is young. Great teams in the Western Conference that could represent, and hopefully the Knicks will represent the Eastern Conference, Ryan. Very proud of them thus far.
Very nice. We do have some viewers in our chat, as always, asking for your pony plays on this Thursday.
Let's go for a long shot at Turfway Park tonight. There's slim pickings. We only got Fairgrounds, Turfway, Remington Park, a couple of tracks. The big dogs take the break. California and New York up until the day after Christmas. Opening day at Santa Anita is going to be so exciting. Aqueduct gets back on the docket as well the day after Christmas. So we're going to look tonight. Turfway Park, the 8th race. Let's take a shot with the Mike Maker horse. Number 2, Step Forward. Nice 6 furlong horse on the turf. Let's see if it could transpire onto the poly track. Mike Maker has had an awesome year. I can't believe how tremendous he has done with his stable at certain points and certain meets. He's definitely a top trainer. You look at him, he's almost hitting at 20% for the year, 202 victories out of 1,000 starts. That's fabulous. And, the last race, he was right there. He just missed. But remember, we're going from turf to poly track. So there is, the surface is more similar, the poly track, to a turf course as opposed to a dirt course, in my opinion. The horse should be able to handle it. Look at the morning line, 12-1 with Ramos. He's got 6 wins at the current Turfway meet that is in its infancy. So let's take a shot. Number 2, Step Forward, 8th race at Turfway Park tonight.
8th race. I love it. 12-1 from our guy DC today. So we'll all take a shot there. Thank you so much, DC. You are the best. We probably won't get to see you next week. You said there's a big race the day after Christmas, though?
Yeah, Santa Anita opens, and that's a fabulous meet, a huge attraction. Come and see me at the Rampart Casino. We're going to have it fired up on the video wall. Parking is free. We still give out drink tickets. Racing Forbes are comped for players that qualify. One of the best places in town, a hidden gem for the horse racing enthusiast. We have an unbelievable comp ratio. Every $40 you bet is one comp dollar to use at this fabulous facility and all the restaurants we have opening up. So come on out for opening day at Santa Anita. Also, Aqueduct fires it back up. Oak Lawn Fairgrounds, unbelievable time to get on the Kentucky Derby Trail now. Horse racing, definitely shines a little towards the end of December. Takes a little leveling out until the Pegasus World Cup in January, but a very exciting time the day after Christmas.
I love it. You convinced me. I got to come see you next week then, Dwayne. Thank you so much for joining us. We really love having you on these Thursdays. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to break down hockey, and we're going to look and see if there's any props that we really like for tonight's game in the NFL with the Rams and the Seahawks. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you to Dwayne. Make sure you follow him on X, too, at NYBookieDwayne. We'll be right back here on Sports by the Book.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the Colts here. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Is there a way to bet against both teams?
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. I love having the show up, seeing the chat going, you guys jumping in there. We appreciate you so much. And those subscribers, we're almost to our goal. So a lot of good stuff happening here at the South Point studio. Ryan, we should have our ticker trivia coming to you live. So anybody who is watching live, jump in if you know the correct answer, and Ryan's going to read it to you to help you out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a soccer question for you guys today. So on this date in sports history, December 18th, back in 2022, the championship match of the 2022 FIFA World Cup was contested in Lusail, Qatar, in which Argentina won 4-2 in a penalty shootout over France. But the question, how many FIFA World Cup final matches across both men's and women's tournaments have been decided in a penalty shootout? So we'll give you guys time to get your answers in there, and we'll end up reading the answer or question again and giving you guys the answer at the end of the show.
Very good. All right, let's go to tonight's action and give out our best bets and kind of talk through the game tonight. Just really quickly on the bowl game tonight, Missouri State, Arkansas State. It is a pick here at the South Point. I didn't do too much diving into this one. I think it's funny that it is at a pick. I made this game 1 Missouri State, and then I saw my father's, Kenny White's line at Arkansas State -1. So I think that kind of tells where everybody is. It's going to be a tight game, and if you have a strong opinion one side or the other. But I didn't really dive into that one with opt-outs, transfer portal, and all of that. So it's a pass for me. Ryan, I think you as well, because we have such a huge Thursday night football game tonight that we've really dove into and have strong opinions on.
Yeah, just to mention in that college football bowl game, the Xbox Bowl, you could get a minus price or a plus price on both sides. You did get up to -2 for Missouri State, and then -1 on Arkansas State, but we're currently at a pick. The biggest opt-out is the starting center for Missouri State, not playing in this game. So center is the guy that touches the ball and snaps it to your quarterback on every play, so it could be a detriment there for Missouri State, but no play officially in that one. But we do have plenty of other action to get to.
Very funny that is mimicking the big game between the Rams and the Seahawks, right? Could have gotten points on either side. So I am in a pretty good position here because I did bet this after the show on Tuesday. We always go through opening and line movements for the week for the NFL with Matt and Everett. And all three of us, myself, Ryan, and Matt, liked some teasers. And I jumped in on the Seahawks +7 and the Lions teased it down to -1. So I have that for tonight. Hopefully people jumped in and followed if they liked it as well and did it then instead of waiting. But Ryan, you brought up a great point. I am going to also take the other side because I think it'll be a great middle here if I have 7.5 with the Rams locked up with another teaser. And it might just be the Chargers with that LA teaser that you gave out with Kaluch there.
Yeah, I do think this will ultimately end up being a very tight game. And with the weather factoring in, you think about the matchup earlier this year, the Seahawks settled for 4 field goals in that game and ended up losing that one by 2 points. So they know that they're going to need to get touchdowns in this one instead of field goals. Granted, they did just win a game by kicking 6 field goals last week against the Colts, but this is a much different opponent than the Colts. And you take in the weather consideration with how much wind gusts will be. I don't think they're going to be able to confidently kick in this game. So in terms of our poll, I really do like the under 3.5 field goals, being able to get even money here in this game. I don't know if there's anywhere in the market that allows you to bet on 4th down conversion attempts, but that is something that I thought of really on my drive this morning, is that I don't think that these teams will settle for field goals. We're going to see a lot of 4th down attempts with how tightly contested these defenses are going to make it. With the injury concerns on the Rams side of the ball, no Devontae Adams, missing a key piece there. Matthew Stafford really favors tight ends, and if Puka Nacua gets kind of shut down by the superb Seattle Seahawks defensive backs, granted, not exactly shut down. It's almost impossible to shut down Puka Nacua, but I do think they'll be able to contain him at least a little bit. So I do think we're going to see a very tight game. Total open 45. We've gone all the way down now. I did touch 42, but I guess now 43. So I don't hate the under there, but again, a 21-22 game does get you to push. So I think these teams will be trying to find the paint and get touchdowns instead of field goals. So it will be a stay away from that under, but I do like the under on the field goals.
How about first half, under 21? I mean,
especially with the wind.
Yes, especially with the wind right there. And I'm glad that you brought up Seattle's defense, because I think a lot of people look at these two teams and they really just think Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford, the Rams. But this Seahawks defense is elite. And looking at PFF, and they had an article about the best defenders at preventing separation and coverage. Of the top 23, Seattle had 3 guys on that list, between Wolin and Witherspoon and Josh Jobe. So I do think that is why that game was so close the first time around, and I do think that they will be able to make it pretty tough on Puka Nacua. So I'm looking at some running back props as well. I mean, Kyron Williams, 10 touchdowns on the year, and then if you want to pick out one from the Seahawks side, it is tough. I want to pull those up again just to make sure that I do have the right number, because I believe Zach Charbonnet has 9, right? And Kenneth Walker, not quite as many. So Charbonnet gets more of the touches, right, in the red zone. But what do you think there with running back wise, or even anytime touchdowns?
There has been a video on social media circling around about these primetime games and the most bet anytime touchdown score not being able to do so. Only 3 of the primetime games in the last, I believe, 9 weeks have had the most bet anytime touchdown score actually find the paint. So it would be a look to stay away from Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams. But as I had kind of mentioned, Matthew Stafford is favoring the tight ends when he is without Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua on the field. So it would be a look to Colby Parkinson here at plus 230. And on the Seahawks side, they love to share the wealth. So wouldn't really be a confident anytime touchdown play on the Seahawks side.
Yeah, it would be kind of tough. Maybe even Blake Corum there, backup running back for the Rams. But I like that too. I think both of those two, what you said, Parkinson and Corum, I think those are pretty good numbers for anytime touchdown, right? Because, I mean, they're looking at some of these. I think that's the one that really, with social media and stuff, it's the first touchdown scorer.
Yeah.
That makes it really difficult that people are always trying to guess in these primetime games. But anytime, give yourself a little more leeway.
Another thing I wanted to point out is back in that first matchup, the Seahawks dominated the time of possession. 38 minutes to 22 minutes for the Rams. Outgained the Rams 414 to 249. But again, settled for 4 field goals in that game. So that's why I think we're going to see more fourth down attempts. Seahawks have their 12th man home field advantage here in this one. So if they're able to control the clock the way that they were in the first one, not turn the ball over 4 times in which they did in the first one, and not have to settle for 4 field goals in this one, the Seahawks might be able to get it done here tonight.
Wonder what the team total is for the Rams full game. I saw first half points for the Rams 9.5. You can get an even money price there if you do like that under, but that makes me a little bit worried with 9. Maybe I'd be looking at full game there. But all right, that's it for me. Final thoughts, unless you want to throw a little bit on a defensive or special teams touchdown from either side. Would you lean one way or the other?
I would more so lean to the Seahawks defense being able to get a touchdown here. I know Matthew Stafford has been able to control where he throws the ball this year pretty well, not being able to limit his interceptions. But with the 12th man, with the wind, you also add in the fact the Seahawks can clinch their playoff berth with a win here tonight. They're going to be fired up. So you're going to get a great effort out of both of these defenses. But I would lean to the Seahawks being able to find the paint. Seahawks defense being able to find the paint more so than the Rams.
I'm excited about these next 4 major football games that we have coming up, right? Because we have this, then that just rolls over to the SEC rematch we have tomorrow, to the morning game, and then to some good NFL Saturday games as well. Really quick though, because we just heard what Dwayne said about all the money being on Oregon, and he thinks that number's going to move up any higher. When do we jump in on James Madison? Because absolutely nobody is giving them a shot to even hang around in this one. And that's kind of how it was with James Madison against Troy, right? Everybody just laying the 22, and Troy was in it to the end. Completely different circumstances, right? And the talent gap. But still, I mean, once I start hearing that over and over and over, so what number would you want there with JMU?
Well, it looks like we did get a buyback spot at the 22.
Okay.
We're at 21, 21 and a half in some spots, but we did hit 22 and has come back down. So it does look like it's been a little bit of a buyback on JMU there at 22. I don't think it's enough. We had Chris Felica on earlier in the week. Have full breakdowns available on our YouTube page if you'd like to watch the first round breakdowns of each of the 4 games in the first round, and an entirety of all 4 games being broken down by Chris Andrews, the sportsbook director here at the South Point, Chris Felica, the Bear, and you, Alex White, giving your numbers for these first round games. So I don't think I can play JMU, especially on the road. And Felica talked about Jeff Schwartz on the Bear Bets podcast, talking about the difference in the size on the line of scrimmage. Dan Lanning has no problem finding bulletin board material and getting his boys fired up. So having to go into Autzen, it's not fair. I don't think JMU should have to do this. I think JMU should have the right to host, being the fact that they won their conference championship and Oregon did not. I don't care about rankings. If you are you want to talk about conference championships mattering, give the conference champion a home game. That's how you make conference championships matter. So, yeah, you want to talk about G5s not belonging in the playoff. Again, how are we going to make conference championships matter? So they're a Division I football program. If you want to say they're not worthy of being in it, then why are they in Division I? Why do they get to say they're a Division I football program? Again, conversations besides the point. And your question was about the number, but I can't play JMU here in this one.
I will say they just went too far. Okay, so last year it didn't work with them getting a bye, right, and kind of waiting around. So yeah, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. But they could still have a home game, right, and play in the first round.
Yep.
But thank you to our guy Sean for throwing up those crazy JMU numbers for them to make a nice run and go all the way. We do have exactas for every single team here. Here's the Oregon one. If you'd like them to make a run and then face Ohio State, 18-1, same number as Georgia there at 18-1. Ole Miss, A&M, Miami, and then Tulane. So matching it up with the other side of the bracket. I will say I did throw some money into the account and made some bets here. I jumped in on a Texas Tech exacta, matched up with those two top teams right there, Ohio State and Georgia. I think it was the same price, right, Sean, for the Red Raiders? 18-1 and 22-1. Yeah, that I put a little bit on that, but I do already have Ohio State to win it all. So kind of a hedge there. All right, let's go to hockey tonight, and we will continue this topic tomorrow, of course, on Football Frenzy, like Ryan said, and then we also have some specials on the YouTube channel, so go check those out. All right, let's go to hockey. I've got 4 official plays. I do lean to an over here, but as I mentioned before the show started, treading lightly with the overs. But Pittsburgh and Ottawa, I mean, it is Skinner and Ullmark, but I think we're going to get some goals in that one. Sitting at 5.5, I made the number 6.5, kind of jumping ahead here, but 3 straight overs for the Penguins, 6 straight losses. They're going to try and get it going, especially with scoring some goals, and I think Ottawa's going to be able to go toe-to-toe with them, back and forth. I think we're going to get goals from both sides. So I do like that over 5.5. I'm not going to officially put it on the board. But going down the line here, we talked about the Blackhawks and the Canadiens. Next up, the Kings and Tampa Bay. Ryan, you brought it to all of our attention with the Kings, and now they are going to their third-string goalie in Phoenix Copley, who we have not seen yet this year. So this is a pretty tough matchup for LA, going up against a Tampa Bay team that has dropped off a little bit. They've lost 2 in a row coming into this one, but overall been pretty hot the last month or so.
Yeah, overall been pretty hot. And the Kings in a little bit of a road trip, or towards the end of their road trip. I did have the Panthers on the puck line last night against the Kings. They did look like they were going to be able to get there, up 3-1 late in the third period, surrendered a late goal, and then had 3 minutes with an empty net. Granted, the Kings were also on a power play, so 6-4 advantage there. But I was surprised by the fight that the Kings had. And they're obviously going to fight tonight with the struggles the Lightning have had. I am tempted by the 175, but I will not play it. It's a lean to the Kings being able to right the ship a little bit, get a little bit of a confidence boost before they go back home, but won't be playing the Kings here.
I really appreciate that breakdown and kind of giving them a shot there, not just counting them completely out. I did listen to the announcers on that one too, because I had just turned it on. It was 3-1. They scored that goal, and I guess they had a couple shots that were pretty unlucky. So that was kind of one that they had gotten back there. And then, of course, did hurt that puck line that I also did tail of Ryan's yesterday. But let's keep it moving here. Anything for you, Toronto and Capitals? I do not have anything in this one, surprisingly.
No, I do not have anything in that one, but I do believe that you have something in Edmonton and Boston there in that one tonight.
I do. And typically, for a while it was Edmonton overs, but now with Tristan Jarry going tonight and Jeremy Swayman on the other side, 6.5. I think that number's way too high. 6 would be a good total I could see, but I'm going to go under that 6.5. I think that that's just a tad too high for this matchup here. Maybe they haven't fully adjusted. And I know the Oilers can score and score in bunches, but typically that's not really the style that this Boston Bruins team is playing, unless we can get a geeky to keep it going there for the Bruins. But under 6.5, there's the numbers right there for Jari and Swayman. Both over 900 for the save percentage and under 3 for the goals against. So that's one for me. And then the next one, you added and found some more trends here to go with all three of our Minnesota Wild bet.
Yeah, we got the sports by the book stamp of approval. Really liking the Wild here tonight. Not sure why the Steam has taken it the other way, but yeah, it is for me. It'll be a play on the puck line, getting plus 210 with the Minnesota Wild.
Very good. And you had mentioned that I just kind of like to figure out why, or try to, while this team is going the other way. And the Wild do have 2 tough opponents coming up next.
Yeah.
So maybe people are expecting this to be a little bit of a letdown. They've won 5 in a row since getting Quinn Hughes. And now up next, I think it's Edmonton and the Oilers, right?
Yep. Edmonton and Colorado on the doorstep. Yep.
Thank you. Edmonton and the Avalanche, yes, on the doorstep. So I can understand that, but I'm going to be definitely betting the Wild minus 115, maybe a small pizza bet on that puck line.
Another the puck line on our screen's a flip there, but I think that it's a fade of the Blue Jackets as well. The Blue Jackets have only won 3 of their last 12 games. They've also only won 7 since the start of November. So Jackets not playing well at all. The Wild, you had mentioned, have won 5 straight. So Wild feeling good. Blue Jackets not so much. That's why I like them minus the goal and a half. The Wild minus the goal and a half.
Jet Greaves again going for them, so I'm not sure where Elvis Malinkins is, and I'm not really worried which goalie it is, even though the sites are different. You have to check Twitter. Gustafsson did play the last game, though, so I imagine that it will be Jesper Volstead in net. Okay, keeping it moving. I went with that over. It's not making the board, but I will probably bet it a little bit going over in the Pittsburgh and Senators game. Flyers, Sabres, I had nothing. Dwayne kind of broke that one down for us. Did you have anything to add on that one?
I did not, but it was just a question about the Penguins Senators game.
Yes.
There is a 6.5 under minus 30 in the market. Would you want to play an over 6.5 needing 7, but getting plus 110? Or would you, I know you said over 5.5, so there are 6s with juice to the minus 120. Would you rather just lay the juice on the 6 with a chance to push, or needing 7, getting plus 110?
It's a good question. So what is it juiced over that 5.5 right now? Because if it's minus 120 for some over 6s, then that's probably a pretty big price.
Yeah, I don't see any 5.5s in the market, so let me see if I can get it, buy it for you.
Okay, no, that's okay. I'll go over 6 there.
Let's see if
It might have been
5.5.
an overnight line I saw last night.
Yeah, 5.5 over on STN would be 75, minus 75.
Ooh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, minus 120 over 6, I think. I don't hate that, though. Maybe splitting it up because instead of pushing, taking a shot there with that plus some money to get over 6.5. I did make the number 6.5. 6.5 under 20, so a little bit under that.
Okay.
But
all right, we've got the Rangers on the road in St. Louis, a minus 140 favorite on the road here at the South Point. 5.5 and is the total with a minus 120 to the over. What do you like here?
Okay, so I saw that Jordan Binnington is confirmed here for the Blue Jays, so got to add in a little bit to that against him and St. Louis. So I'm going to take a shot here with the Rangers. Binnington has not played since December 11th, where he did give up 7 to the Predators in that one. I'm sure he got pulled before that, but that was the final score there. But he has just struggled. He didn't get pulled till the 3rd period in that loss, but it's been a tough year for Binnington. So I'm going to go against him right now. 3.49 goals against and an .869 save percentage. The Rangers struggle to score. That is why we have such a low total here. But I'm going to take a shot. I think that's a cheap price here on New York. Last time I had New York on my board, I think they failed to get there for me.
It's all right. Let's hope they get there
They
tonight.
did, yeah.
The Blues haven't necessarily been that great at home so far this year. We've got the Kraken on the road in Calgary taking on the Flames. The Flames are a minus 170 favorite, 150 on the buyback for the Kraken. Total is 5.5 with a 120 to the over.
I think that's actually probably better than laying a big price with New York on the road is taking a big price with Seattle on the road. They have lost 3 in a row in 3 of their last road games, but Calgary I just don't think should be that big of a favorite. I have a minus 130. That's a 20-cent difference there, getting that plus 150. So scratch the Rangers. That's a lean. I'm going to take the Kraken here, money line.
I do want to caution you, though.
Okay, what's the caution?
The Kraken have only won 1 of their last 10 games.
Woo!
So, and the Flames started the year fading them,
Yes.
but they've been playing a lot better hockey since the middle of November. Winners of 4 of their last 6, 7 of their last 10, and 13 of their last 15. So, or 10 of their last 15. So, yeah, extreme caution with the Kraken that are not playing good hockey at all.
Man, 5, 6, and 3 on the road. You're right. 1, 8, and 1 in their last 10. All right, small bet, pizza money bet there on the Kraken. So if anybody is tailing, don't go overboard, please. But I will definitely put a small bet there. Just number-wise, I just can't. But, I mean, I guess that is current form, right, and how they are playing.
Yeah.
So that has to be added in as well, not just the immediate win-loss streak. All right, last but not least, I do have one on this last game with the Stars and the Sharks.
The Stars are a $2 favorite on the road in San Jose against the Sharks. 175 is your buyback for the Fish. 6 is the total, and it is flat.
Dang, is there any 5.5s out there still?
Over on FanDuel, it is a 5.5 over minus 142.
Wow. See, this is why you have to bet overnight lines, everybody, because
They move fast.
yes, and I definitely saw that 5.5 last night. So I'll still go over. Oh, that's right where my number is at 6 over 15. So I don't really have much of a play there. How about over first period? Find a 1.5 there. Sharks are
Who do we got in net?
fast.
Probable. We got Otter for the Stars, Jake Ottinger, and Yaroslav Askarov should be also both probable.
Okay.
For the according to Goalie Post. So
All right. We'll wait. Good in game if it is scoreless after the first and you get a better number. Well, I think we'll see some goals second and third period. So, but it is always good to watch because look at last night with the Devils and the Knights. You kind of knew that one wasn't going to turn around in the later periods, even though you could get over 4.5. So be careful with that. All right, Ryan, I think that's it for us for today. Let's take a quick 1-minute break, Sean, if you don't mind, so we can make sure we have all our plays ready. I've got the 2 college basketball from my dad. I also have a college basketball play that I like. I will put on the board, and we'll get Ryan's plays, and then we'll wrap it up here on Sports by the Book. Quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for our best bets.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Welcome back, everybody. As promised, we will give that ticker trivia answer out, and we'll check in with the poll and see which prop bet was the winner tonight. Which one was the most voted? So, Brian, what was it looking like for our under props that we gave out?
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want any more. What's your underplay in Thursday Night Football? Total or shortest touchdown in the game, under 1.5 yards, -110 here at the South Point. That's the one. Cooper Cup receptions in the game, under 2.5, getting +140 here at the South Point would be 2. Field goals in the game, under 3.5, getting even money here at the South Point. There's your 3. And total combined touchdowns in the game, under 4.5, is a -110 price here at the South Point. And our viewers are going with less touchdowns in this game, under 4.5. 36% of our viewers are going with the under combined touchdowns in the game. We did have 29% of the vote on the field goals, 21% on Cooper Cup, and then a lonely 14% on the shortest touchdown in the game.
Wow. That's probably smart. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw it. I believe it was on Monday night. We also used that one as part of our poll. And our viewer, we gave the over there, and we did see. I forget who caught the ball, got tackled at the 1, but then we saw a tush push with Cameron Hayward to get into the end zone to get the under 1.5 yards there. So, with a line of scrimmage game here tonight. Wouldn't fault you, but don't want to lay the vig, so wouldn't be playing it. So, but we do have ticker trivia for you guys today, presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, as well as the special edition Legends Edition bottle available for our players here at the South Point. So it was a soccer question for you guys today involving the FIFA World Cup. On this date in sports history, December 18th, 2022, the championship match of the FIFA World Cup was contested in Lusail, Qatar, in which Argentina won in a 4-2 penalty shootout over France. How many FIFA World Cup final matches across both men's and women's tournaments have been decided by a penalty shootout? And your answer today is, in the history of FIFA World Cup, 3 men's championship finals matches. Brazil and Italy in 1994, Italy and France in 2006, and Argentina and France in that 2022 year, and 2 of women's championship matches, United States and China back in 1999, and Japan and the U.S. in 2011, have been decided by penalty kicks, for a total of 5, which we did get the correct answer from Nick. So 5 was your answer there. Total matches. The only one men's final, that 1994 edition between Brazil and Italy, and 1 women's final, the 1999 edition between the U.S. and China, went into extra time and then led to penalty kicks because both games were 0-0 at the end of regulation.
So the first one was 1994 between both men's and women's. Wow.
Yeah, all 5 within the last 30 years.
That's very interesting there.
31 if you want to say it's 2025. At the end of 2025.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody who did play along in that. It looks like Nick might have been the only one to actually take a guess, but he got it right. Thank you for jumping in with the poll. Everybody who did, remember, one more time, hit that subscribe button. We do have a goal by the end of the year. Thinking we might be able to do it in the next week or so and wrap it up. But now it is time for whiteboard best bets of the night. I'll start it off with the 2 extras here that I do have from Kenny White, and they are on the extra board for college basketball. 306, 615, Fairfield plus 5.5 in that one, and 306, 624, Norfolk State getting 1.5. I did check his numbers. He made that one, I believe, a 3 or 4 point favorite. So believes the wrong team is favored, and you're getting 1.5 in that one. Kind of like mine here. I'm going with Illinois State plus 2.5 against Southern Illinois. I believe that Illinois State could be the favorite, or at least a pick 'em in this one. So you're getting 2.5 points. rivalry here between these two. You're getting the better defense, and you get some home revenge because Southern Illinois won last year. Looking for that final score. It was 88-79. They won last year at Illinois State's place, so they get a chance to revenge in this spot. Flipping over to tonight's best bets, I'm going to look for some unders, whether it's first half under 21 in the football game, or maybe even looking at that first quarter. I do think it's going to be pretty brutal out there with the weather, and also looking at some running backs here. But I am going to tease up the Rams to 7.5, tease up the Chargers to 8. Put those together. Hopefully it's minus 130 or better on that. And then going into hockey, Edmonton and Boston, I'm going under that 6.5. Didn't add any of my other totals because they have moved, but I was leaning to the over in Pittsburgh and Ottawa. I am going to take the Wild at minus 115. I'm going to be cautious, like Ryan said, with the Kraken. So I'm going to take a different plus price, and I'm going to join him with the puck line here with the Minnesota Wild minus 1.5 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then there's my basketball right there. Illinois State plus 5.5. All right, Ryan, let's throw it over to you for your Thursday best bets.
Yeah, I just did want to mention that the chat has been really hot with our polls. Yesterday, they did take Old Dominion plus the points, and they ended up winning outright. The day before, they take the Flyers plus the with a plus price against the Canadians. And then, forgive me, but I do space what we did on Monday. So, but for my whiteboard, I will be going with the Minnesota Wild minus the puck and a half plus 210 at the South Point. And then 3 plays in tonight's Thursday night football game. 1, you'll have to tie up with a game of your choice. But it is the under field goals, under 3.5, thinking the weather will take into account, as well as the game script needing touchdowns instead of field goals. And then Colby Parkinson to find the end zone, get into the paint, shop around on the price there. I will not be taking a trip to the border of the state to get the 230 over on FanDuel, so I'll be finding it in town. And then the Rams as a teaser leg, keeping this a one score game, plus the 7.5 available here at the South Point. Tie that up with a different game of your choice, but I do think the Rams are going to be able to keep this one tight on the road here in Seattle.
Love it. I like the long shot there too, taking a shot with the touchdowns. Thank you everybody for jumping in the chat. I did see Attila threw something in there that he liked as well. Longest field goal.
Under 50.5 yards. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I like all the variety we've got tonight. Really excited to watch this game. Got to get my work done and get home. But hopefully everybody enjoys it. Hopefully you catch some tickets. Hopefully our hockey stays pretty good as it has turned around since Monday. Let's keep it going. We'll be back tomorrow at noon. About 2 hours here for college football and the NFL. We are going to keep it to that 2 hours. So please join us if you can live. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you to the crew with Ann, Jerry, Vince, Drew, Doug, and Sean. Ryan, great job as always. Good luck. Let's cash some tickets. We both got 7.5 with the Rams. I don't know if you jumped in with the Seahawks, but I think you're rooting for the Seahawks as well to get the actual win.
It's always beat LA for me. So
with the jersey. Okay. Beat LA. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for helping us get to our goal, too, here on Sports by the Book. We'll be back tomorrow. Best of luck. Cash some tickets. I'm Alex White for Ryan McCormick. We'll see you again tomorrow here on Sports by the Book.